Moving backwards, actually, let's go ahead and put Brandon Curry's legs up against Big Ramy, Samson Dauda, I guess is how Mark Max Muscle says it, Samson Dauda, and Hunter Labrada. Now, Hunter Labrada failed to show, what you would think of as a traditional front double bicep in his symmetry round, which is pretty much the only point of a symmetry round is to show all your shots. For him and someone like Ian Valier to skip the front double, I don't think that's very conducive to at least people like myself who are trying to inform the casual or even insane fans like myself on these different comparisons. So not great. But luckily, not Samson, but Hunter Labrada did show an artistic front double during his posing routine, because you do get two options of photography selections: the symmetry round and the posing routine. So we have something. Now when we look at Samson brings a really, really nice flow and fullness to the quads, that I think really takes the shots here. I think Ramy has big legs, but they're very unconditioned and they hardly have any detail. So it's hard to reward that, and especially when we look at the issues with him possibly doing injections in the legs, causing nerve damage, and also causing these ridiculous abnormalities and structural deformities that are that are Big Ramy's legs. It's unseemly. It's not aesthetic, and it's not being rewarded anymore. So I don't know what he's going to be doing in the off season. I can assure you he's going to come back and try to get the title again. I don't think he's going to retire. But I would put his legs. I would put his legs probably behind the very underwhelming legs of Hunter Labrada, because Hunter's legs really don't pop. There's no sweep here, and it's not even really a good pose for him. He's not hitting it traditionally. And I used a front double for everyone else, so I'm not just going to grab a most muscular. I don't think that's fair to the other competitors that did what they needed to do during the symmetry round. Now, Brandon Curry's legs, after we talk about Hunter's and Big Ramy's from the front, Brandon Curry's legs stand out as almost not too bad when you think about, the issues we just talked about. So kudos to Brandon for, is it mediocrity? Is it just being the center point, I guess, for these ones? So not really a good thing to take away from it, but it is what it is, in my opinion. From the side, there is no denying that Ramy's side leg is very impressive. Super, super big, very full, a lot of thickness. It has almost like cake layers. There's so much, quote unquote muscle or maybe oil. I'm not sure, but I think it does look nice. I do like it. And at least at this year's Olympia, you didn't really see that dot or that big infection spot on the top of his leg. So it wasn't as obvious, in my opinion, at least from the side. Brandon's side leg, again, has, like we just talked about from the front, it has hardly any detail or separation. And some would say it looks like potentially an off-season leg shot. Finishing off with the back leg of Brandon Curry, Big Ramy, Samson Dauda, and Hunter Labrada. I will give credit to Labrada on some really good hamstring detail, and also the calves. The glutes, they're kind of shifted in a funky way with the hip tilt, so it does kind of pull away from the comparability, as you would say, or as I would say. Dauda has good detail, but lacks the conditioning right now. That's going to need to give him that pop factor when we look at these other competitors. I do think that Dauda is going to be able to bring those corrections. He's going to be able to build the physique that he needs to, because when you look at last year's Arnold Classic and you look at this most recent Olympia, he put on a lot of size, a lot of muscle maturity. So, I mean, the future is bright for this guy. I really see him doing absolutely phenomenal work in 2023. Going back to Ramy, Ramy really brings the freak factor here from the back shots with these massive glutes. We talked about glutes just a second ago. Big Ramy has probably the most impressive glutes. They're not really opened up too much, but I think that he does enough to where they're just so big and so diced and detailed that he doesn't really need to do a lot with them. And also, I will say I've done a lot of critiques in this video. I think that's what you guys really enjoy for some weird reason. You guys are sadistic, but I will give some compliments when I can. That Big Ramy has really wide sweeping quads from the back, and it really does give him a nice silhouette. Although he is not one known for having a nice X factor or silhouette. He really does bring a freak factor. Although he does, for the most part, keep a good midsection in control. But as we digress back to what we were supposed to be talking about, I will say that Brandon Curry's legs are the weakest in this lineup, with, again, very little detail, separation, or conditioning. It's just not what we need to see from someone who previously won the Mr. Olympia with a very similar physique. And there's hardly any sweep to the outer quad, as we just talked about with Ramy's, and it just doesn't give him that X factor, that flow that everyone praises him for. Especially like Fuad, I've noticed on his podcast, he's always like hyping up Brandon Curry, but then it's just when he gets on stage, it's just blah. So I'm not sure what's going on there. If they're just like good friends, or if that's just his preference, or if there's some funky monkey stuff going on in the background, I don't know. But I do also regress on those thoughts as well. Overall, there is definitely going to be a tangible reason why Brandon Curry did not place in the top 3. I think that it was a nice gesture from the judging panel to give him 4th. I think a lot of it has to do with him being a former Mr. Olympia and also having a somewhat complete upper body. I think his upper body was competitive with the top 4 where he placed. But if we're looking at the lower body, I definitely see him placing outside the top 7, even to Hunter Labrada. So, of course, once again, thank you for watching. If you want to see Brandon Curry versus the 8 through 16, let me know in the comment sections below. I'd love to do that comparison for you guys. It's my pleasure to bring some entertainment to you in the new year. Happy New Year's. Genuinely, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every single one of you. I know I say it in every video, but this channel wouldn't be where it is without fans like you coming in, watching, liking the videos. It kind of helps me know what content you like, what content you don't like. If you guys want to see long format podcasts return on the channel, you need to let me know. It seems that this is the kind of stuff you guys want to see, and I want the channel to continue to grow and entertain you, so I'm going to stick with the hot guns. So please like, comment, subscribe. I'm your host, Josh Sanch. As always, as we prepare for the Arnold Classic in March, make sure you subscribe. Check out the link in the description for our bodybuilding news merch so you can match me when you see me at the Arnold Classic. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another one.